This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Clear Lines training session. I am your host, Kipp Cohen, here for the next 60 minutes to answer your questions about the Clear Lines indicator running on the Medved Trader platform. This is a twice weekly training session every Tuesday and Thursday at 1:30 Eastern. This session is geared towards the subscribers of Clear Lines, or for those that have interest in learning more about the Clear Lines indicator, as well as the Medved Trader platform and equity-alerts.com. If you have questions, please do submit them through the GoToMeeting chat. You are also welcome to unmute yourself and ask a question with verbally. I am recording today's session as well, and we'll be posting it to our YouTube page probably tomorrow. But I did want to let you know I was recording it, and the reason for recording today is I wanted to spend the first probably 10 or 15 minutes discussing the changes that I have made to my layout specifically, and to be able to go through and show you how you can, if you have the 4-chart active layout, how you can basically create your own very easily. So one of the things, as I'm going to spend a couple minutes first just kind of talking about why I've done this, but after 20 years of doing this, we go through periods where I think the markets can be a little more challenging, you know, and I mean the markets are always constantly changing anyways, but you know what worked yesterday may not work so great today. And I noticed I was starting to struggle a little bit. I noticed the last few weeks, you know, trading became exhaustive for me. Getting faked out a lot. And so I had a conversation with my partner Jim Chanel, aka Jedi Jimmy, and I was expressing some of my frustrations, and he actually kind of opened my eyes. He said to me that you need to sometimes go back to your basics. You need to switch things up a little bit, change things, do something a little different. And he also said you might want to get off that 30-second chart because that can be a little misleading at times. You know, it's pretty volatile. So I kind of took to heart what he said. And then I started playing with my existing layout because there are certain aspects. And I started looking at it. I'm realizing, you know, I've added a lot of stuff to this chart. I've got a lot of indicators. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so good. Sometimes having too much is information overload. I think back to my Wise Trade days, and there was a reason why Wise Trade worked, is because there was a real level of simplicity to the red and green lines. And so I kind of drew upon my past and said, okay, let's take what we know works, the clear lines. Let's get back to some of those real basic views. Let's take out a lot of the clutter. Let's take out a lot of the noise. Let's remove the half minute and try something different. And the last 2 days have been much better for me, less stressful. I can see and read the charts more clearly. today was a perfect day, 6 wins, not anything huge, but all wins. Even yesterday, my first day using it, I had 1, 2, 3, 5 winners and then 3 losers, but the losers were all very small. I was cutting them real quick. So it was still overall like a good day, but today ended up being a perfect day, second day using the charts. So I think I'm onto something, or at least Jimmy was onto something. And I think what I've done by making these adjustments has made a difference, is giving me a little more clarity, is helping me to make better decisions. And all I really did was I took I'm gonna pull up so you can see. I took this layout. I took the what I call my magic layout. I took this layout and I modified it. I cleaned it up. I emptied it out. It's not hard to do. I'll show you. I kept a couple of key additional indicators because I do really like them and they help me significantly. I did leave my CCI, my modified CCI. To me, it's a very good, um, it it really validates my entries with the clear lines. It really helps me see the picture. VWAP, as far as targets, I don't think there's anything else better than using VWAP. And then I left the couple opening ranges because I like to know where those are. So first thing I did is I went to the half minute and I switched that to a 1 minute. Went to the 1 minute, switched that to a 2. I went to the 2 and switched that to a 5. I also switched the 1 minute to a 50 bar view. So it's a little more focused in. I turned off on the 2 and the 5. I turned off the candles. So I only have candles on one chart on the 1 minute because I still need to know where price goes because price does go above and below the clear lines. So that helps me to see that. And then I started removing other indicators. So you can either right click and go to add edit indicators, or you can go up to where it says, up here where it says main and go to indicators, either place. So, and I left one pivot. I left the Fibonacci pivots because I like those. So I removed the daily pivot. I removed the DMARC pivot. I left the opening range. I removed the HMAs. So my 1 minute chart is volume, clear lines, Fibonacci pivots, opening range 5 minute, VWAP, and my modified CCI. That's it. Much cleaner. My now 2 minute, formerly 1 minute. So we do the same thing, go to indicators, keep volume, keep clear lines, remove pivot points, remove DMARC pivots, keep opening range 15 minute because I like to know where that is. And I remove the HMAs, the EMAs, and the supply and demand zone. Keep the CCI. So again, keeping it simple starts to clean up the charts. The 5 minute main edited indicators. All right. So this has weekly pivots. So I'm going to keep the weekly Fibonacci's. I'm removing the SMAs. I'll leave the opening range. I'm leaving VWAP, and I'm removing the EMAs and the HMAs. And then I didn't make any changes here. There was no need to make any changes to the 8 minute because it's already pretty simple. And then on the 5 minute, I can flip between the 3 and the 5 if I need to. So this is what created that new layout. And then once you've made those changes, then you can go File, click Save Layout, and then you're going to type a new name. So mine's called Pure Clear Lines Active Layout. So let me actually load that layout. Pure Clear Lines. Oh, actually, I think I have this on 100. 100 or 50. I put it back to 100. You could use either one. Oh, you know what? And I did remove the HMA from the 8-minute. I did remove that. I mean, not the HMA. I removed the VWAP because I've got it on the other 3. I don't need it on the 8. So you can remove it there too. I forgot I did that. So in essence, I'm really just focused on, I'm watching my arrows now more. I'm watching the 1 and the 2 and the 5. And when I see a down arrow on the 1 and the 2, and I see the 5 starting to roll over or pinch, and I see the 8 moving my way, that's my signal. And it was very clear. I'm like, and I'm more patient. I wait, I wait, I wait. I wait for the right opportunity. Actually, I think I also took off the hold on. I took off the opening range on the 5-minute. So 5 is volume, clear lines, VWAP, and weekly fib pivots. That's it. I took that off of here. I don't, because I've got 5-minute here and 15 here, and I got 15 here also. Opening range. I just like to know where the opening ranges are. I could even remove it from here. That's really not necessary, but you know, because I already have it on 2 charts, I really don't. There's, 5-minute, 15-minute. That's all I really need. Whoops, did that remove it? Why is it still there? That's weird. Oh, opening. Did I accidentally, hold on. Did I accidentally move? What is going on here? Oh, there we go. So this is strictly clear lines, volume, and CCI, if you do it that way. And this is the same with weekly pivot and VWAP, right? And that's it. So I can see when something is clearly, in an up or down trend. I can see when things are starting to shift. I don't have a lot of different things to contradict me. It's the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Are there any questions about what I've done so far? And again, you can either write a message in the chat. You're welcome to ask me by turning on your unmuting yourself. Like IBM, this has been just a downward spiral all day long. Why would I even want to try to go long? Downward spiral, downward spiral. Not going to fight that fight. There's another one, FTI. You guys are quiet today. So let's see if I can find something and we can kind of apply these charts to that. So here's one. Here's one to think about. ATVI. Already got the down arrow on the 1 and the 2, right? We're almost at the down arrow on the 5. We're on weekly fib resistance. Sometimes you got to click the hide primary to see where price is. But so to me, you've got CCI in the red here, almost in the red there, coming down the hill here. 8-minute is converging. This to me is a good opportunity. So we'll put in an entry here. My target is VWAP or weekly FR1, right? Or fib pivot. So let's put a target right down there. I got a second down arrow on the 1 minute. The 2 is firmly curved up, over, and down. The 5-minute is just crossed over. I don't have my down arrow yet, but it has crossed over. And we are on the weekly fib pivot. The 8-minute is closing down. Now, can this turn around and bounce? It could. But as of now, everything looks good. It's still a higher risk trade because what is the overall trend today? Look at the 8-minute. What's the overall trend? Low to the left, high to the right, right? So the overall trend of the day is uptrend. Remember, the 8-minute is your intraday foundation. It is what tells you, are you going with the trend or against the trend? It tells you what your risk is. So if I'm going counter trend, right? If I'm shorting against an uptrending 8-minute, what I've basically done is entered what would be either called a reset counter trend, which is a high risk trade, or potentially the inception, which is the beginning of the reversal of the intraday trend. Right? Inceptions start out as resets in the counter trend. So this becomes what I consider the higher risk trade. If it confirms and completely rolls over, then we potentially have the inception But inceptions have to start somewhere, right? There has to be a beginning point of a reversal, because it's either a reversal or it's a reset back into the trend, one or the other. We don't know. I mean, if we had that magic pill, we would be in a different place. So we do the best we can. We stick to rules, set
Kipp,
stops.
hello, Kipp.
Yes.
Question, does this show the average trade range or average true range that if your ATVI already exceeded that and it started a downward trend, would that not give you a better feeling of going short?
I look at how much room I have to volume weighted average price to really gauge if it's going to be a fairly good trade or not. So if I have if it's over $100 stock, if I have at least $1 to VWAP, or if it's under 100, if I have 1% to VWAP, then I feel like I have reasonable enough room. So this actually was, if you look at where we started and where VWAP is, that's 77 cents. So that's right at 1%. That's about the minimum acceptable. And I'm not going for the full 1%. I would be happy with 0.5% or um, even less. But I've kind of gone away from ATR because to get it, I have to go to my historical chart, and I go to the daily, and I do have, see right here at the very bottom, I have ATR. It's $1.53. So you have to set it on a historical chart, go to the day, and it's an indicator. That's all it is. It's just a go to added and indicators, and it's a lower indicator right here, average true range, and you add it in, and then you'll get it down in the bottom of your chart. So knowing that the ATR is $1.50, the stock is up. Let's see. Well, it's basically even on the day. It's not even up much. So what's the high and low of the day? The high and low is, well, the high and low of the day is $1.50. So that's a little greater than the ATR, right? So we know if it's up near the high, it is at the top of its range, right? So probability is it's going to come back inside its trading range. When stocks move to the edge of their range, they usually come back in. Volume weighted average price is kind of like that mean. It's it's kind of like, all right, that's the midpoint where it's going to come back to. So I've gotten a lot more accustomed to using VWAP because when they get extended up above or down below, they usually at some point will make a move back towards it. But you can go traditional and just use the ATR and see where it is in relationship to the trading range. It just so happened that this one worked out pretty good because it extended up to the top of the range where we are now, and then it's starting to come back in towards the ATR. So the magnet is the volume weighted average price. That's what's going to pull it back down a little bit. But you can use either one, whatever you're more comfortable with. I do wish I could add the daily ATR onto my minute charts. They just don't have that option because with Medved, the minute charts are all intraday. I mean, I think there's probably a way, if I pushed really hard, I could get them to do it. because we have daily pivots that use day ranges. They should be able to create a daily ATR that you could add to a. I'm going to talk to them and see if they can, like where we have daily and weekly pivots, where we can add a daily ATR where there's a choice, down here, we just go average true range. And then maybe they can create on here somewhere, a daily choice. Or they have a separate one called daily ATR. That would be, I'll put a push for that. See if they can do that. I'll have a conversation with the Medved guys. They're pretty awesome. They're good about, if they can do it, they'll do it. Sherm came in late. He wanted me to go back through, and I don't mind doing this. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to go through and use the 4-chart layout and show you again how to build or switch to this new layout. You watching, Sherm? You ready? Okay. So we're going to go to the magic layout. So first thing, we go switch to a 1 minute on the upper left, 2 minute upper right, 5 minute lower left, and we don't change the 8 minute. All right, that's step 1. Then we go to main, add edit indicators, and we're just removing. We remove demarc pivots, pivot points, and the 2 HMAs. So this chart will have volume, clear lines, fib pivots, 5 minute opening range, VWAP, and the CCI. All right, that's the 1 minute chart. The 2 minute chart, we're going to go into the indicators. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to remove daily pivots. We're going to remove demarc pivots. We're going to leave volume, clear lines, VWAP. We're going to leave Fibonacci pivots, and we're going to leave the opening range, 15 minute. And then everything else, HMA, HMA, EMA, EMA, and supply demand zones gone. And then we keep the CCI. So this is basically the same as what we have on the 1 minute, except opening range is 15 on this and 5 on the other. Right? Those should be identical. Whoops. Why is it still the same? Okay. Something wacky is going on. It's like it's not safe. Something weird's happening.
You got to apply it.
Well, there's something happening with the charts. I don't know. Maybe because it keeps putting them back in for some reason.
Are you applying it?
Okay. Maybe I didn't apply it. Okay, maybe that was it. I was just hitting okay. Thank you. All right, and then on the bottom left, which is now the 5 minute, we're going to do the same thing. Edit indicators. So we're going to remove the pivot points, the demarc pivots. We're going to remove the SMAs. We're going to remove the opening range on that chart because we don't need it, and we're going to remove the HMAs. So this is volume, clear lines, fib pivots weekly, VWAP, and CCI. Apply. Okay. And then it's up to you on the 8-minute, but what I've done is remove the opening range and VWAP. Oh, I'll show you a little trick. Okay. So I do have ATR on this chart right now. Okay, let me apply. And okay. So see, I have ATR. That's right now an 8-minute. So there are, what is it, 1,440 minutes in a trading day? Is that right? Isn't that right? 1,440? Yeah. There's 1,440 minutes in a trading day. So I can go and switch this to a 1440, which in essence makes it a day. And then I get the ATR right here, 1.52. It's going to be close to a true daily, but a 1440 is pretty much a day. And then you just got to go back to your 8-minute. And then once you've done this, again, you got to go save the layout. Do File, Save, and then name it something else. Like I called mine Pure Clear Lines. You got to rename it. If you want to keep the other old layout, if you want to save the old active layout, you can do that. All right, so you notice what happened? We came right down to this fib resistance and we bounced right here. We got up about 4 cents, hit fib resistance and bounce. We're also now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, 16 minutes into the trade. So y'all know my rule, right? The 15-minute rule. If you've been in a trade more than 15 minutes and it hasn't done what you thought it was going to do, get the heck out, right? So I'd rather lose a few pennies than take a chance that it breaks out and runs. Then I can just hit the flatten button. Oh, there goes, now it's dropping. Oh well, whatever. Still, I'm going to stick to my rules. Hit the flatten and bail out. I look at it this way. If you saw something that gets you into a trade, we saw the 1 and 3 rolled over, the 5 rolled over. We saw what we thought was an entry signal. But if after a few minutes that signal fails, you become a sitting duck waiting to get shot. And the longer you wait, the higher the probability is that it's going to go against you. Because whatever got you in has now technically fallen apart. There's no reason to stick around for that. Just move on. Look for another trade. Plus, you're sitting there staring at it, waiting for something to happen. And guess what happens in the meantime? You miss out on another great opportunity. Sherm, did you get everything you needed?
Yes, Kip, I did. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Good. Thanks. All right, so let's kind of continue the process. Let's kind of keep looking. So here's Boeing. We just missed a long opportunity. The 1 minute curved up, got an up arrow into the green, 2 minute curved up, 5 minute curved up, 8 minute just crossed. You can see the CCI coming up the hill. So that's the slowing of the selling momentum. So we just missed a long opportunity. Again, it's counter trend, so it's higher risk. Odds are it's going to roll back over, right? We could look for another entry short, but there's a higher probability this thing's going to roll over and continue back down. Baidu just chopping. Billy could turn into a long opportunity. I feel like I because my charts are so much cleaner and clear, it's so much easier to see what's going on. I don't have so much clutter. I think the clutter was getting to me. Coin is setting up for a long, but it's a counter trend trade, right? High to the left, low to the right on all the intervals, downtrending. No trend. Look at that, just sideways. That's easy to see. This good, kind of a slow grind lower. Kind of no trend. See how clear it is? It's just easier to see without so much on the charts. Docu uptrending all day. You wait for a pullback and you get long. End phase downtrending most of the day. Etsy kind of all over the place. GameStop all over the place. Google all over the place. I don't want to mess with Moderna, but it's rolling over. Sherm says, Kipper, the MACD and CCI look more or less the same. Which is better? I don't look at a MACD. I like my CCI. I mean, I guess it's just personal preference. Did I not? Oh, I must not have hit apply. Oh, I didn't hit the arrow. Yeah, there's some similarities there. I think the CCI is probably looks a little quicker. It seems like the MACD is a little laggy, although you could probably adjust the MACD. I haven't really messed with it to I like the histogram. I guess you could speed it up a little. You could, oops. There's some similarities there. I guess you just got to figure out which one's best for you, you know? I'm pretty happy with my CCI, modified CCI, but whatever. They're all, again, personal preference. Piton. Piton, if it gets back up a little higher. The other thing that obviously you don't ever want to force anything. If you don't see it, you don't see it, right? There's going to be certain times of the day you're just not going to have opportunities. Don't force something if it's not there. I do kind of like Roblox up here. Double top, roll over, room to VWAP. Even though it's a little later than I'd like. If it breaks right here, and it's got room. You got FR3 down here on the weekly. You got VWAP. You got FR3 on the 2-minute. Hey, you're welcome, Sherm. Glad we could be here to help out. Tim says, what does CCI and VWAP stand for? CCI is a commodity channel index, and VWAP is volume weighted average price. They're just a couple of different indicators, that's all. SPY's trying to roll over. So we're bouncing here. So it's not a trade, right? We don't force. Square, pretty big uptrend. It's up near highs of the day. Target up at highs. Everything's just bounced. Spies, diamonds, and Qs just ripped. I love it. These bounces just come from nowhere. Let's look at Roblox again. Roblox is starting to roll back over. All right, we'll try one more here with Roblox. How about that? As it jumps as soon as I get in. I just like that everything's committed. You've got nice rollover here, rollover, rollover, rollover. 8 minutes in this into the red. You got all of the CCIs red. Joe says it just goes to show what you have been saying for a while. The machines control everything and they can make the market go up and down at a whim whenever they want. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. They are in control. That's why it's important that you stick to your own set of rules. You have to know your limits. 1 second, guys. Just as we need Will Smith to take out command and control like iRobot. That's funny. Yeah, or the Terminator to take out Skynet. Sherm says maybe Crocs. Oh, I think we just missed Crocs. That's good, but look how close it is to VWAP. See, I don't like it when you're that close. SPY is almost back up to afternoon highs. This is also why usually I don't even trade in the afternoons because it gets a lot choppier. and you start to see something that looks good, and then it goes the other way. Norm, actually have shown it a couple of times, but I'll go on each chart and you can look at it. I'll show you each chart so you can see. So upper left is the 1 minute with volume, clear lines, opening range 5 minute, VWAP and fib pivots with the CCI. And I did record this, Norm, so it'll get posted up to the YouTube page. The upper right is now a 2 minute and it's the same. It's identical. Except opening range is 15 instead of 5. Volume, clear lines, VWAP, Fibonacci pivots, and 15-minute opening range. So they're both the same, 5 minute on the left, 15 on the right. The bottom left is the 5 minute, and it's volume, clear lines, VWAP, and then weekly fib pivot. You got to make sure it's set to weekly. And the CCI. And then the 8 minute, the only thing I did different is I removed the VWAP and well, this one has opening range still. But you could remove opening range if you wanted to and just have volume, clear lines, and the CCI. That's all you really need on the 8 minute. You don't need anything else there.
Awesome, Kip. That was perfect. Hey, what is the fib pivots for the 1 minute? Is that weekly or daily?
Daily. Daily on the upper two, weekly on the bottom left. Because remember, the upper left uses current day, the upper right uses always. So these are going to calculate a little differently as far as the daily fib pivots, based on one using pre and post market data and the other one not using pre and post market data.
So 1 minute is current day and 2 minute is always.
Correct. And I think I have this set to current day on the 5 minute, and then 8 minute is set to never.
Thanks so much.
Yep. And then don't forget, once you've done that, resave the layout and rename it.
Yeah.
That
Do you
way,
have it saved somewhere?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you save it on the documents?
I haven't saved it to the documents yet,
Okay.
but I can do that.
Okay. What are you calling it?
All right, everybody, thank you. Oh,
I have called mine Pure Clear Lines
Perfect.
Active. Pure Clear Lines Active. So yeah, I'm going to resave this because I pulled out the, let me resave it.
Yeah,
Save.
the VWAP.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think I can just go up to Documents and then plus, add a new file, Documents, Medved.
So you basically pretty much pulled out the DMARC lines,
Pull the DMARC and pull the dailies out.
the daily
Pivots. Only
Oh,
using,
yeah, that's right.
yeah, only using the Fibonacci pivots.
Fibonacci, yep.
Because I
Yep.
noticed they tend to go more to the fib pivots than anything else.
Yeah, well, it helps. It's clear.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, buddy.
You're welcome.
All right.
And it's there now. I think it's in the documents.
Documents. On the webinar equity.
Yeah, let me see. Pure clear lines active layout. Yep. It's there. Hey, take care, Perry. We'll see you. So basically, Roblox also became a dud because here we are now 12 minutes in and it's just going nowhere. And that's a function of trading in the middle of the session, that you'll get false signals. This is why it's a good time to take a break, right? Because you'll see something, it'll start to look right, and then it just undoes itself. And it's just the market. That's the way it is, you know. That's why the best trades are the first hour and a half and the last hour and a half. The rest of the day is just chop. You're going to find a trade here or there, but you're going to end up giving money back the rest of the day. I'm sure if I let this hang out for a while and work out, it might work out, but that's okay. Rather just pull the plug and be done. Speaking of pulling the plug and being done, if you don't have any other questions for today, I'm
I don't
gonna.
see it in the documents, Kip.
You do or don't?
I don't.
Did you go down? It's down because it's
You're talking like,
alphabetical.
oh, it's alphabet. Oh.
So go all the way down to the P's. So you should see pure clear lines active dot layout.
There it is. All right. I didn't know it was alphabetical. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. I got to do lunch duty. Talk to you later, buddy.
All right.
Thank you.
Have fun. All right. Take it easy. All right, guys. That's it for me. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. As I said, this session is being recorded. I will, once it compresses, I will update it, upload it to the YouTube page. If you have questions outside of this session, don't hesitate to email me, kip@equity-alerts.com. You can also call or text me on my cell phone, 972-841-8886. And I will be back again on Tuesday for another training session at 1:30 Eastern. And the rest of you, I'll see you back in the morning. Have a great afternoon, and I will talk to you guys later.